Hello guys, and welcome to Ride VIP the Right channel. My name is Serge, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys about my recent job at Chrysler Jeep Dodge as a service technician. And in today's video I'm going to reveal how much money I actually get paid. I wasn't gonna do it, but I realized there's really no harm in that. For me, I think part of the reason that somebody would not want to release their pay information and stuff like that is to potentially make somebody maybe upset in the shop that you're making too little or too much and that kind of thing. But nobody told me anything that I can or cannot reveal how much money I get paid. It would be more something that I would think to release or not. Most people, they don't want you to really count their money, how much money you're making and that kind of thing. And also most of them are probably afraid like what kind of feedback they're gonna get, maybe from their staff, their co-workers, or maybe even potentially getting fired. But here's the thing, I am not concerned about being fired. I really don't really care what other people think as far as how much I'm getting, how much I'm making. So when I say like I don't care about being fired, I mean like it's not gonna impact me in any way. Like this is not, let's say, it's not like a career choice, like somehow it would affect me. Like if I gotten fired, I could easily get another job if I wanted a job. I haven't had a job since 2007, and I'm actually surprised I'm still employable because I haven't had a job in so long. Being self-employed has taught me a lot of things, and one of the things it taught me is to be responsible and to actually just make money as I need to, and not really caring so much. Like I'm talking about like more like worrying about like what other people think and what will somebody think of me or how will I get treated, especially when you have like a channel for as long as I have. Like I have a channel since 2015 that I actually been just completely active on, and this is not that channel. I have other channels besides that. When you first start out, like you're gonna be like a little shy, you might not want to say certain things, but as you progress and you stay active, your audience becomes more like your friends, somebody that you talk to. And I think like that versus thinking like who's watching me and I should be worried. I'm thinking if there's anybody watching me, I look at it like in a positive way. That means they care about like what I have to say, and because of that they watch me. Somebody that would not care about what I want to say, they're just not going to watch the video because nobody's being forced to watch it. With that being said, I care about people that watch my videos, and if somebody, let's say, wants to get a job in automotive industry and maybe become a service tech or a lube tech, I would like to be able to give them the insights as to what to expect, what can they expect, what kind of pay can they expect, and update you guys on this little path of mine, like how much money I'm making, like, and how much money you could make, some of the challenges that come with the job, and potentially some ways to overcome it, you know, to try to offer not just problems but solutions as well. So anyways, when I came here to this job to get hired, right, I asked them if they're hiring service technicians. So I said I want to become a service technician. Are you guys hiring? And they said yes, we're always hiring, we're always looking. They did not like act like desperate or anything, but of course they're not gonna act desperate. But truth of the matter is, there's such a shortage of mechanics and basically just like service technicians in general. There's just like a huge shortage right now, which then opens up an opportunity for somebody that maybe wants to seek out this type of job. Okay, so before I tell you what I'm going to tell you, I do want to say it with this. Some people that would like to become a service technician, they end up going to technical college, and once they get out of college, they hope to become a line tech, or which is a service technician, like for a car dealership. But the truth of the matter is, just because you passed all of those certification, it doesn't mean that they're gonna put you as a service technician. You're potentially will become an apprentice to a shop foreman, where he's gonna show you the ropes, how everything works, because every single dealership works different. And what they teach you in college, they don't teach you kind of like how the dealership runs and operates, and you have to go through all kinds of training for you to be able to actually be there. And also the company wants to learn whether or not you're the right fit. So they may or may not place you as a loop tech. They told me they're going to hire me as a loop tech, but truth of the matter is, most people that graduate from like a tech college or university, they basically get employed by a dealership, and they basically put them as a loop tech. Why am I saying that? Well, because that's what they told me I'm going to be, right? And with that comes cheap pay. Okay, so this is kind of like why I lead up to that. That way you have an understanding why it's so low, or maybe it's high for you. Maybe you haven't made that much before. So a loop tech makes $16 an hour. At least this is what they start me off as. So when I came to this dealership, and I was sort of like getting an interview, and they asked me, how much do you want to get paid? And I said, well, I don't care. Do I care? Yes, I do care. But look, I'm not going to be throwing a number out there. I did not just leave a dealership. I did not have some set pay that I was expecting. I just wanted to get my foot in the door. It doesn't matter whether it's going to be a loop tech or a service tech. I want to go ahead and go through all the training to be able to start working on cars. No work is beneath me, okay? But they said, okay, we're going to start you off as a loop tech, and we're going to pay you $16 an hour, but you're going to be on a hybrid model. We're going to throw some stuff at you, and we're going to see what you could do. And for a flat rate mechanic, so the hybrid model, so hourly and flat rate. So you're going to get flat rate work as well at $18 an hour, okay? So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And then they said, in 90 days, they're going to take a look at how I'm doing and things like that, and they're going to give me an additional raise, okay? So what do I think about that? What do I think about this pay? Well, I think it's fair. I think it's fair. And as you guys are watching this rideshare channel and probably wondering, why am I talking about this? Maybe some of you guys watching this for the first time. As you guys know, I was doing rideshare for a while, and I am still doing it. And I was actually thinking about doing it today, because today is Halloween, and I was thinking about doing rideshare. With that being said, I ended up getting a job. So in the next video, I would like to explain to you what I think about this whole job situation, because I just wanted to kind of keep these things separate, because they are different topics. Because I have something different to say when it comes to the next video about like how I feel about this job, and certain things, certain challenges that comes with that, and some of the ways that I'm thinking about overcoming, and some of the questions that I have for myself, and some of the things I think about moving forward. But with that being said, I think for anybody that's trying to become a service technician, becoming a loop tech at a car dealership is a good way to get your foot in the door. If you're somebody that's passionate about mechanics, you like to take stuff apart, you like to understand how things work, and learn about those things, then yeah, this is probably going to be something that's right for you. I'm a problem solver, and I like to solve problems, and a dealership is the right place to do it. Okay, not that it's easy, but it's the right place to do it. Something else I should think about talking is about the kind of tools that you're gonna need, because you will actually need some tools, and it could get very expensive. So that's gonna be like in a later video. But what do I think about this $16 pay and $18 as a flat rate? Overall, like I said, I do think it's fair. I do not think that's what I'm worth by any means, but I think if you're trying to get in and work at a car dealership, I mean, you never worked in that setting before. I mean, what can you expect? Okay, like, you can't really expect a very expensive pay. Okay, that's a lot. So I'm used to making a lot more money. But anyways, before I leave, I wanna basically tell you guys, how does this compare to working for Lyft or working for Uber? Well, I personally did a little calculation, and we could kind of do it together. So basically think about it like this. So currently I am making $16 an hour. Let's just say like a regular type of pay, right? So how much am I making? Let me just pull this phone out, because I'm recording on my iPhone right now. So we're at the stoplight. So I'm just gonna pull up a little bit and do this. I don't know about you guys, but when I first started 2.5 years ago working for Lyft, I was making easily $300 per day. Doesn't matter. Did not matter what day I worked. If it was the weekend, I could actually make more. There was lots of bonuses. There was lots of opportunity. Fuel prices was cheaper. Parts was cheaper. Inflation was like kind of down. So cars were cheaper, right? But so much has changed in the last 2.5 years. So let's take a look at what 2.5 years look like. Even a year ago, year and a half ago, potentially look like this. Okay. So because I was making $300, it was costing me actually in fuel about $40, $35 to $40. So let's just say $40. Okay. We're just going to look at the fuel. We're not going to look at the maintenance. We're not going to look at everything else, but that is definitely important to look at. So what do we have? $260. So $260 for how many hours? That would be clean after fuel for 12 hours. So we're going to divide that by 12. So that income was $21.66 for me when I first started. So when I look at that, I'm thinking, okay, well, I am making now considerably less as a service technician, right? Because I'm making technically 16. That's what I would look at hourly. That's what's kind of guaranteed. But once I go on flat rate, things will improve, because, well, they could improve and they could also hurt you in the process. So a flat rate means essentially, if you just on flat rate, let's say a job's supposed to take 3 hours and you do it in 1 hour, well, you would get paid still for 3 hours. But if you do it in 4 hours, well, you still get paid for 3 hours. And some of the jobs that you will get will take you at least that many hours to do. So it's not like you could do them faster, but certain things you will be able to. But at this point, I'm looking at some stuff, some of the things that I'm doing, how much it's paying, and how long it's taking me to do it. And even though I know what I'm doing, it still doesn't make sense. Like, I'm thinking like, okay, like I either have to be like on a NASCAR loop team, like, you know, to where I could do stuff really quickly or something, you know. But then you're not just like working in your backyard. There's certain procedures you got to follow. So, you know, it's kind of like impossible to be fast unless you're cutting corners, at least I think, you know. But anyways, let's take a look at this calculator. All of a sudden wants to update. I don't want to update. Okay. So let's take a look at in today's day and age, how much money as I'm making as a Lyft driver. So no longer do I see $300 days for just any all day. Even the weekend, it's really hard to do that. I'm seeing more like $240 to $250 days. That's 12-hour days. 12-hour day and make $250. So let's take $250 for the day. How much money is it costing me in fuel? Well, it's costing me anywhere from $75 to $90, and I gotta put premium in, so it's costing me every bit of $90. So let's deduct $90. Now I'm making $160 for 12 hours. Now let's divide that by 12 hours. That is $13.33 an hour. That is a lot different from working for $21 an hour. So why is that? Why such a big difference in fuel cost? Well, I ran my car into the ground. I started with a Nissan Altima 2013, 4-cylinder, 35 miles per gallon, unleaded fuel, like 87, that's just like a regular unleaded fuel that I was using, right? Now, that car is sitting there. It needs a new head gasket. Basically, it's kind of like a big job to get it going again. I could get it going again. I could use it again. But, you know how life is? Life sometimes just happens, and you got to keep going. You got to keep going. So right now, it's just not in the cards because I'm just doing other things, and everything taking its course. So you can't just really do things how you want to. So, because I don't have that car, not only that it's costing me more in fuel because this is a V8 that I'm driving. It's 17 miles per gallon, believe it or not, for this V8, 4.4 V8 Range Rover. At the same time, I'm just economy class, and at the time I was economy class, and it would have actually cost me more because I'm putting like mid-grade fuel in here. That's what I've been running on. So yeah, like if I use this Range Rover or if I rent a Tesla, it's going to cost me something similar because I've done the math, and when I'm renting a Tesla, the cost is about the same for me to operate my own versus that one. I guess the only advantage I get is that I don't put miles on my vehicle, but a disadvantage is that I don't put miles on my vehicle, because if I put these miles on here, I get to write off every bit of those miles. That means at the end of the year, I pay little to no taxes, plus because I have a family of 5, 3 kids and a wife, because of that. So that is a huge advantage because I'm running around the business and I could just deduct everything, right? But I'm thinking, okay, well, yeah, I'm deducting. What am I deducting? I'm making $13 an hour. What am I deducting? So obviously this is after fuel, so there's all kinds of service, maintenance on the vehicle and everything else, depreciation, just more services, and yeah, of course I'm deducting. So what have I been noticing at the end of the year? I look at it, and like last year I made 6 figures. Year before that I made 6 figures. But where's all that money? Guess what? I just basically paid for the normal stuff. Like, I don't have like piles of money sitting around. I just bought like basic essentials. And I'm thinking, this is probably many of you guys' situation. And I'm lucky that I don't have like mortgage payment. I don't have a car payment. If I did, I would be kind of like living on fumes, like paycheck to paycheck. But because I don't, I'm able to splurge and get certain things like tools and whatnot, like whatever I work for, like I'm able to buy those things. So with that being said, this probably should have been a separate video, but I thought it would be good to put a comparison in the same video. So how does this Lyft compare to my ride share? Well, excuse me. How does Lyft compare to me being a service technician? Well, a beginner service technician is $16 an hour. With Lyft, I'm making $13 an hour. And this is just my comparison, okay? If you got a fuel economy, like a good fuel economy car, something good use, right? That may still work for you. I am by no means saying that Lyft is not worth it. Don't do it. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, for me right now, this is what I'm looking at. But one last comparison. So let's take that same $250 and pretend that my fuel cost is only $40, like it was on a Nissan, which it would not be, but let's just say it is, okay? So we're gonna take minus 40, I put 42, let's just keep 42. So that means I'm making $208 for 12 hours. So let's divide that into 12 hours. So that means now I'm up to $17.33 per hour. So okay, this is me now working with economy car, and I'm up to that $17.33. Okay. All right. So next, I would like to ask you guys, what are you seeing in 12 hours? Are you seeing $300? What are you seeing in 4 hours? Are you seeing $100? What are you seeing in 8 hours? Are you seeing $200? Because the reason I say 12 hours is because I work for 12 hours each day. That's how much I really hustled. So I realized that I was getting $100 for every 4 hours. That is gross. And of course, you got to take the fuel out of it. So it was a lot easier to do this math, looking at the bigger picture. Okay, this is how long I work. This is how much fuel I got. This is how much I made. This is what the fuel expense was, to just deduct it and find out the hours. Like, this is an easy way of doing it, right? Sure, on the weekend, maybe somebody's still doing 300. But let me know. If you are putting in 12 hours, just let me know, like, your economy class or not economy class, doesn't matter. Just write in the comments below, like, let me know, are you making 250? Are you making 200? Did you know that sometimes I even seen less than 200 for the whole 12 hours? Less than 200. I've seen that before. So when you really look at the bigger picture and the weekend and everything, you average out, you know. So maybe the average will be around like 250 still per day, because you could just take your whole week and just divide it, you know, like whatever money that you made, and divide that by 7. You're gonna get the day rate, and then just figure out like what the fuel costs you, and then you can figure out what is your hourly. But of course, it is never just about fuel. Obviously, there's a lot more to it. You know, you got a car payment. Now your car is depreciating. You got to service it more often. Once you put all those miles on it, there's no way you'll be able to sell it for what you bought it for. Like, it depreciates so fast. And on top of that, your car will break, and then you're gonna have like such a big bill to repair it. So anyways, in conclusion, this particular job that I have, unlike Lyft, allows me to get overtime, which then changes things. So I'm making 16, you know, overtime's time and a half. So you take 16 divided by 2, it is now 8. So you add 8 to 16, now I'm making $24 an hour. So every hour that I work additionally, I will then be able to make more money because of time and a half. Okay. Also, the longer that I would stay at that dealership, the more earnings opportunity that I get. There's going to be raises. There's going to be things like that. There's going to be training. The more training you got, the better pay you got, the more challenges you got. And then, of course, that hourly pay is going to go away. And then you're into the flat rate. And if you're really good and you're studying up on your stuff and you're just kind of like passionate, then you're able to put in 40 hours, but really you just made for 60 hours. And you know, some people, they work and work and work, and before you know, they're making $30 an hour. And yeah, this 16 could turn into $30 an hour flat rate. So then think about it. A job is paying you for 3 hours at $30 per hour, so you're gonna make $90 in those 3 hours because it's paying you for 3 hours. But let's say it's only taking you 2. Well, now you're making $45 an hour. But if it take you 4 or 5, well, now you're making less. So that's kind of how it works, guys, in case anybody was like wondering how does that all work and how much money, like what to expect. So of course at the dealership there's a big growing opportunity. Like once you get in there, you'll realize maybe like what you like, and you know, potentially you could work in a different department, try yourself there. But with Lyft, look, 2.5 years has passed. I wasn't promoted. I feel like I was demoted. Now, not only that I'm making less money, it's costing me more money to operate, and cost of living has gone up tremendously. Car prices went up, like service went up, parts went up, like everything went up in the last year. But anyways, you guys get the drift. So write in the comments below, guys, what do you think about all this? Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.